So I have been on YouTube since the dawn of time. I've made hundreds of videos in multiple different niches. And the reason for this is because I've been on a savage pursuit to find the magical niche that allows me to not only scale my monthly income, but also grow my family at the same time. As you can see, I have a sleeping newborn on my chest. This is my fifth born baby boy. He's 6 weeks old. And so at this point, I can confidently say that after nearing a decade, I figured it out. And the lessons and niches I'll be detailing in today's video now earn my family over 7 figures online, and I work 1 day a week so that I can maintain a growing business, but first and foremost, homeschool my little kids and be a present wife and mother. And so people say that you can have it all, and you, in my opinion, absolutely cannot if you choose a niche that doesn't align with your values first and foremost, but also one where it's extremely hard to get views, and thirdly, you can't scale without more of your time. And so in today's video, I'm basically going to walk you guys through the worst YouTube niches you could start in 2025, going into 2026, the ones that'll keep you working harder than your old job and will never get you the kind of freedom that you actually want. And don't worry, I'm also going to share with you guys the patterns of the channels that do last, even when the algorithm changes. But if you're new here, my name is Haley, and I basically help content creators specifically on YouTube turn their YouTube channel into a business through digital products and courses without sacrificing their values, their family, or their sanity. And so if that's something that you want to do, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Check out my free masterclass. I walk you through how I schedule my week as a homeschool mom of 5, how I'm able to work 1 day a week, what kind of products I sell, my income streams, and all of that. Someone famous, I don't know who it is. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen, but they said this quote, and it is so freaking true, okay? If your life is your content, you'll never get a day off. I'm totally misquoting. It's probably Gary Vee, maybe not. But basically, I know this because when I first started YouTube, I was doing lifestyle content. And that just means anything that I felt called to, anything that was my passion, right? So this is motherhood routines. I know, don't come for me. I absolutely put my kids on the internet. I was 21 years old and 23 when I had my firstborn child. I didn't know what I know now, but I was doing home tours. I was doing like daily vlogs, anything that would basically allow me not to have to put my firstborn baby in daycare to try to make it when we were living in LA at the time with a super high cost of living, lots of student loan debt. Like, don't judge people, okay? We're just all trying to do our best. And so while it looked peaceful online, real life, as you know now, because so many people are coming out with like how hard it is to be a family vlogger, whatever. Not that I was really doing that, but it was absolutely pure chaos. It got so bad that my oldest, who was 2 at the time, absolutely hated it when she heard the beep on the camera. Not that I was always filming her, although there's a lot of her life online that I would obviously take back if I could. But even when I was filming myself for Instagram stories at the time or for my YouTube channel. And so I was filming through nap times, editing after bedtime, trying to make our home look perfect while my toddlers, I had 2 little ones under 2 at the time, ran through the background. I mean, it took me years to realize I'd basically built another glorified job and not a business. Because when you have a job, you cannot scale your income without more of your time. It's literally impossible. And so why this matters is that lifestyle niches depend on constant access to your real life. And so this means no boundaries, no breaks, no peace. If you want to take a week off, your job disappears, okay? Because you are the product. It's not something you can outsource. It's not something you can sell or quit eventually. And sometimes, as you can imagine, what I did, you end up oversharing because you get thirsty, you get desperate. I was all of the above because as you grow your family, you need more money because you have more mouths to feed. That means you need more views. And it is absolutely a trap that even the best of people fall into. So an example of this, as far as like going into a lifestyle niche, is like a day in my life. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I do this now. I just limit, obviously, everything of my life that I share, but there's a problem behind it because there's no transformation. Another example would be like a clean with me video, a grocery haul, or endless routines. And the biggest problem is that you're basically combining whatever you feel like doing into one channel. And so it's not that you can't get views, you can't get paid through the algorithm. It's that you can't sell your own products. So when I do these niche types of videos, there's a common thread that I've learned through so much blood, sweat, and tears and mistakes of being on YouTube through like the second wave of YouTubers. And that is, if you don't focus your content through basically a transformation or helping other people rather than just showing what you're doing. So this is teaching, solving, guiding around something you care about, like organization specifically, homeschooling specifically, or meal planning, instead of just documenting your day. It's going to be really hard for you to sell a digital asset in the form of a course or a community. Even if it's not a course, it could be a community on school or a coaching program. And it's hard to scale your income because you need more views to make more money through sponsorships and to make more money through AdSense. And so you want to be a specialist in one specific field, even if it is your passion, instead of talking about a myriad of different niches that don't set you up to be an expert. Therefore, no one is willing to pay you for your knowledge. The second niche that I would absolutely avoid going into from 2025 and on, no matter how poppin' AI is the faceless AI, or what I like to say with my husband, the slop niches, okay? If it's easy to make, it is easy to replace. Everyone online right now is saying to basically start a faceless YouTube channel. And I get why, okay? It sounds like freedom. There's no filming, there's no editing yourself. Obviously, you don't have to be on camera doing this. It's a lot of work, right? There's no pressure. But here's what I've seen happen over and over. People spend literally months uploading AI voiced listicles or Reddit stories. And then one day YouTube just stops recommending them. And all that passive income, although it's pretty active because you still have to do it, it disappears overnight. Because the truth is, you cannot build a business out of something that has no you in it. And so this matters because these channels, they steal your time without giving anything back. And so you might think it's hands off, but you're constantly rebuilding, guessing, chasing trends instead of building a scalable business that allows you to work less, be with your kids more. And it's just like you become a headless chicken. The other big problem I have with faceless channels in general, or just building businesses that have no you in it, is that it really is just a side hustle. So yes, maybe you can make a couple $100s a month, or if you're lucky, $1,000 a month. But if you're not trying to build it into this big thing where you're hiring people overseas, I mean, I've literally seen it all. You're making tens of thousands of dollars a month on these faceless AI channels, which is a business in and of itself. If you're hiring people, it's a side hustle. Okay. It's not something that you're going to scale up and up. It's not something that gives you back more of your time with your kids. It doesn't allow you to quit your job. So I am like so anti side hustle. It's not even funny, because if I'm going to put time away from my family, speaking to the camera or not, it better be something that scales for decades. And so that is why I say to choose something that is not only your passion, but something that is niche, laser focused, something that you can build your expertise in and sell your own product, so that you're not at the mercy to algorithms that you don't own, or obviously faceless channels that just ride trends. So a good alternative to something that isn't so invasive, like I 100% know how hard it is. I know right now, for instance, that speaking to the camera and imagining there's thousands of people, that speaking to this camera right now and imagining there's thousands of people, even if I've done hundreds of videos, it is like pulling teeth. There is an element of just, this is physically hard. I'm having a baby strapped to me. I'm sitting on a stool. Okay. My kids are playing with my husband outside. Like, I know firsthand how brutal it can be on your mind to churn out video after video, week after week, year after year. So that's why people are like, okay, do the faceless thing. But there is, I think, a sweet alternative if you are so willing. And this is something that a lot of our students do. So people will film their life in a way that's not invasive. So for instance, one of our highest producing students is Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone. Okay. So she doesn't necessarily just film her face all the time. She films snippets of her life throughout her week, and she doesn't involve her kids. Okay. So she does like homesteading. She teaches you how to make sourdough bread. She teaches you basically how to be a homemaker, a Christian mother and wife that makes money online. You know, obviously she doesn't teach that necessarily, but she teaches you how to home make. And so she will do all of this, but she will not necessarily show all aspects of her life at all, actually. And she has, I think, 9 kids right now, and she doesn't show her kids. And so she's able to just speak into a mic and mimic like this style of faceless channel that, I mean, her face is everywhere, but she's not having to speak like me directly to a camera. And so it just really depends on what you want to do, how to make it easier for you, and just your personal preferences. For me, I don't want to have to clean my house. I don't have a super beautiful farmhouse like she does. cameras. And so moving the tripod around my house, it just doesn't make sense also for my niche. And so I'd rather just bang out a video like this one, rip off the Band-Aid week after week, and then call it a day. And then I can go back to my tornado house with 5 kids. Lisa seems to have it all together. She's figured out how to do everything and not be so invasive, but just do a voiceover into the mic and piece together little snippets of her life, which is great for her niche. And that's like homemaking, homesteading, and all of the above. And so you don't have to do one or the other. You don't have to just show your face or show no face. People do it in a lot of different ways. So just keep that in mind. So the third niche that I would absolutely avoid is the trend chasing niche. So I actually mentioned this in lots of videos, but basically if you're always chasing what's next, you're never going to build something that lasts. You have to stand by something that is deeply cemented in your beliefs, and that surpasses trends, right? So I've had a lot of viral videos before, the kind that blow up your notifications overnight on Instagram, on YouTube, but here's what happens after, okay? The spike eventually dies down and the audience moves on. And so you realize that those views, they didn't actually build anything. And even worse, they all expect that trending content from you, even if you don't want to do it anymore. For instance, at the time back, I think before I had my first child, I did a whole blogging series. I didn't know how to monetize back then at all. I just thought it was AdSense and sponsors. And so I really didn't even know much at the time about being a blogger. I was making probably a couple $100s a month, which is laughable that I was teaching on it, but we all learn. And so I did this whole series. I wasn't even sending people to a course. I didn't know what a funnel was. I didn't know what a landing page was. I generated a ton of views, and after that, it was very hard to rebuild back my motherhood channel, which was my main niche at the time, because I was known for blogging. And so I had a really hard time working my way out of that. And actually, I've learned this lesson over and over and over, just to be 100% transparent. I went viral doing like how to make money online for moms, and then it was hard for me to regain views from that. And so the biggest problem when you just hop on views is that your audience is very fragmented and you're not making episodic, if I'm saying that word right, episodic, I gotta look it up, content. And the whole goal of being someone with real influence, someone that is able to sell out your courses and your coaching programs or your memberships, whatever you wanna sell that is like an info product, obviously that's what we teach, is you gotta get your core audience to be as big as possible. So you don't want to have just like 100 true fans. You want all of your audience, ideally, to watch all of your content. So the more you go outside of your niche just to get views, the more fragmented your audience gets and the harder it is to convert through your products, which gives you back most of your time, because then you don't have to get a lot of views to make a lot of money. Hence why on this channel, when I started over, it's pretty much the same. It's digital products, it's YouTube tips, it's being a content creator, which to be honest is even still too fragmented. And I'm trying to, right now, it's a lesson I learn over and over and over the hard way for some reason. I need to niche down to just one centralized thing so that people watch video after video after video. So what do you do instead? Okay, you create evergreen content, topics that still help people 6 months, 12 months, or even like 2 years from now. You teach one clear system or a transformation that viewers can apply anytime. And then you dig into something valuable, something that only you are known for, and you basically own your niche. So for me, as an example of what I'm doing that's scaling 7 figures and working really well for our family's business, is I teach specifically value-based content creators that are most of the time, they have faith in the Lord. They want to, not all the time, but they want to homeschool their kids. They have larger families. They want a lot of flexibility, but they want to make a lot of money online. I teach them how to do that by selling courses or coaching programs on YouTube. So that is my niche, and that is how I'm able to separate myself and like obviously film with a baby that is wiggling on my chest, because that is who I serve, people that have these values. So the fourth niche I would absolutely avoid is the side hustle hype niche. A lot of people slot me or whatever into that category because I teach on courses and coaching, but I'm the first person to say that it will be the hardest thing. Well, actually the hardest thing I've ever done is homeschool 5 kids after never being homeschooled. The second literally is doing this type of job. So doing courses, being on YouTube, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. It is not easy. You don't make money overnight. So when you see, thumbnails that's like make $100 a day doing nothing, or, whatever, overnight, we've all seen them. They sell the dream of quick freedom, but absolutely none of that is real. I've had students come to me after wasting months on doing those types of channels, like affiliate spam, automation tutorials, or AI tools that print money. And not one of them built something that lasted, because again, it's just going on the back of a trend. It's just hype. People aren't going to pay you for your product. That is the ticket to making a lot of money relatively fast. It's still very hard because you have to be an expert and an authority. So one time I did a video that went absolutely viral, and it's like the best jobs for moms or something like that. I'll put it on the screen up here. And while you could make money doing this, it's more like side hustles. So I talked about like medical coding, drop shipping channels, doing Amazon FBA, print on demand, get rich quick content, right? Fiverr. And now the biggest thing is like AI agents, right? Or AI tool roundups. You cannot shortcut purpose. YouTube does not reward lazy, it rewards value. And so while you might get a lot of views, you might get paid some in AdSense, it's very hard to replicate. And the only thing that's truly scalable, like I've been saying and beating a dead horse over and over and over, is basically building authority and selling your own products, not off the back of sponsors or obviously YouTube AdSense or Google AdSense. So the fifth niche is the endless opinions and drama niches. I see so many people doing whole YouTube channels on why mommy vloggers are bad, or why like YouTube gurus are scammers. And I'm like, you're doing this and it's like you're one of them, because you're just riding off the back of negativity online, and you're hoping to make money in sponsors and AdSense. And so in my opinion, if your brand depends on outrage, you're never going to have peace internally. And commentary channels can grow obviously really fast. I've seen people go from 0 to 100,000 subs just by reacting to like certain influencer drama. But I've also watched those same creators burn out emotionally, because to me, like when your content is built on conflict, peace kills your business. And so you end up trapped in negativity. You like just need another scandal just to keep the views up. And you're just stuck in a negative cycle of looking for, drama in whatever industry your niche requires of you. So you really have to ask yourself, like when you're trying to choose a niche on YouTube, this question, okay, could I still be happy running this 10 years from now, 20 years from now? YouTube is still relatively new. And so I've noticed that the people that are the most successful on YouTube, they do not freaking switch niches like I've done 1,001 times, okay? They stick with the niche for 10 years. And so what can you do for 10 plus years? What are the topics of conversation that you are talking about with your friends, with your spouse, with your relatives that you could go on and on about? Number one, but also remember number two, this common thread through all of my videos is, can you become an expert, an authority in talking about these passions, these hobbies, or these interests, so much so that people would be willing to pay you for more information, so that you're not having to rely on algorithms that you don't own. You don't have to get a ton of views. You don't have to go viral. And so you're not having the temptation to chase trends like I was year after year after year and fragment your audience just to get views. So if the answer is no to any one of those questions, then that niche is not for you. And so if you guys got value from this video, like it, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.